Hey, try on this jacket. Just strike the same pose and you can put it on right away. When you isolate this face and request a passport photo, it automatically generates a white background. Hello everyone, Error here. Recently, with Baidu's release of Ernie Bot 4.5 and a surge of various other AIs, not only are the established big tech companies, but also many Chinese firms are rapidly producing a plethora of AI technologies. Not only that, but image models and video generation models are also advancing rapidly. Amidst this, there's a company quietly and steadfastly pursuing its path, approaching AI comprehensively. That company is Google. There was a perspective that Google missed out on the early market because its initial attempts, like Bard, did not receive favorable reviews. However, the AI market is just beginning to blossom, and this period of blossoming is extremely important for the future. Last year was heavily focused on GPU infrastructure, setting the stage for full-scale AI services. In this context, Google has recently introduced open models like Gemma 3 under the Gemini name and has been leveraging its own chips, called Tensor Processing Units, which have been in use since 2017. It started in 2015 when it was first deployed. With version 6 out, we are ready to offer cost-effective AI services. They even used their TPU for training. Recently, they launched Gemini. So they are ready in terms of AI infrastructure. Initially, Google Maps and Search were the main platforms. Now just enter a YouTube URL. By just entering the URL, it can automatically interpret and deliver the information. This feature seamlessly integrates with existing Google Sheets or documents, enabling rapid expansion into AI services. This provides substantial potential for quicker access compared to companies like OpenAI or AWS. I know the introduction was a bit lengthy, but Google has been unveiling numerous innovations since last week. I'll spotlight 3 noteworthy ones, present various examples, and then we'll explore how Google's AI strategy excels. Those who frequently use YouTube or Google platforms often discover a lot of fascinating features. Recently, they've rolled out an experimental version 2.0. They have even rolled out services that personalize based on my frequent search history, which is something only Google can excel at, do not you think? If you visit Google My Activity, you can see your search and visit history. Anyway, for those who have agreed to share their data, Google can use this data to provide assistance. This is because Google collects a vast amount of data across various fronts. For instance, with Google Gemini 2.0, there are watermarks that might seem slightly illegal, but they can clean up unwanted blemishes. In the past, the original data might have had some influence, but now these issues can be addressed. It works really well. For instance, if you ask it to change the shape to that of an iPhone while holding something odd, it will transform it very cleanly, as you can see. Of course, it may need some more development. It has clear Google features, but it is quickly integrating with the existing LRM. From Gemini 2.0, it will support TPU. You can see why it's considered the best in multimodality. To use this feature, go to AI Studio and look for the Gemini 2.0 Image Generation Experimental. You can use it to create what you want by simply typing it in. There are parts where you can input Gemini directly, and there are other features in AI Studio where you can allocate tokens and use them. Each month you have a certain amount allocated that you can use. So if you go to the Gemini 2.0 Flash, which is currently trending, and start editing, it will be highly convenient to modify the existing content. By providing such comprehensive and integrated services, Google is making it very appealing for people to want to work within this platform. There was an AI that could dress up an image, which was fascinating enough to create content with it. However, as AI has advanced rapidly, this feature has become incredibly smooth. Now, you can try on a jacket in a similar pose almost instantly. Although the pose might not be perfectly identical and there might be slight differences, you can still get a very natural sense of how it would look. Recently, I had to take a passport photo. In just 15 hours from now, I'll be heading overseas. However, even if you do not have your passport photo, by using an image of your face, it can generate a passport photo with a white background effortlessly. So, it can anticipate and visualize a side profile that it hasn't seen before and create it. It can also generate a zoomed out pose for the same person, even if it looks like the upper body is a bit large and the legs seem short. With the extensive data it has learned, there's a lot of room for creativity, and we can harness that creativity to produce valuable images. This technology allows for the creation of images that can be utilized in numerous ways. Without the need for advanced CAD software at home, you can simply tell it to remove this or place that, and it will visualize how to best arrange the space for you. This makes it an incredibly valuable tool across various industries. Stock companies might need a new approach now. Here's another example. Earlier, I showed you that person and we dressed them up in this and that for the fashion show, and their face looks a bit different now. It's quite intense, but this is one way it can be done. This is the first piece of news that surprised me the most since last week. The second piece of news is about the open model called Gemma 3. This version ranges from 1 billion to 27 billion parameters, making it a very small model. It offers 4 different modes, and I tried downloading it locally. The performance is impressive. It's comparable to high-end frontier models. Additionally, since it matches GPT-4 in capability, capability, it's perfect for those who prefer to use it locally, can't utilize server-based AI at their company, or want to fine-tune an open model for new creations. It's impressive how compact this model is. Gemma 2 already had outstanding Korean language support. It's incredible that such a small model can perform so well and is available for free. Gemma 3 continues this trend. Currently, it supports multimodality, including image models, which is impressive given its small size. What are they saying about Gemma 3? Right now, it's being said that this is the most capable model you can run on a single GPU or TPU, but it's reasonable to say this. Really, there's a lot of discussion about on-device AI. To make it happen, there are only two options. One is that the hardware, like our commonly used smartphones or laptops, must be exceptionally well built with strong AI capabilities. Alternatively, the AI model must be designed to be incredibly compact, yet still deliver great performance, even if it doesn't handle many tasks. Ideally, it would be great to have both, but because there's a significant gap right now, the world of on-device AI isn't coming quickly. No matter how much they talk about the first Galaxy AI smartphone or Apple's intelligence, people just can't feel it. What's so great about on-device AI? It can translate without connectivity. I think that would be useful when I go to France. But nowadays, everything is connected. So why use a local model when you can use a large one? However, if it becomes compact and performs well, that's different. Google, for instance, has collected vast language data through Google Search. So they have a vast amount of data for training. This means Gemini excels in language. It also benefits from distillation, or a smaller distilled model. Even when smaller, it can still mimic the language well. This process, known as distillation, typically involves distinguishing between a teacher model and a student model. The large model transfers its knowledge to the smaller model, enabling the smaller model to perform effectively despite its reduced size. It's not just about providing the correct answer. For example, if I ask a question, there will be an answer, right? Instead of just giving the exact answer, think of a tech YouTube channel with 350,000 subscribers operating in Korea and the US. For example, let's say Andel Engineering. Then it also mentions Andel Science. Meanwhile, Andel Science has over 1 million users. It's different from Andel Engineering. It was created by friends and has subtle differences. These differences help listeners understand better. The smaller model doesn't just give the answer, it recognizes the differences. When it also learns those subtle differences, it can approach problem solving more delicately. This is what the distillation model does, and it is doing an excellent job at it. Microsoft is doing well with models like Pi and Mistral, but Google is excelling across the board, which is impressive. They are also offering AI services like Genmi and cloud solutions. By distributing open models, they are excelling in the open model ecosystem. While it's slightly behind DeepSeek R1, Cheport Arena surpasses front-end models like DeepSeek V3 or O3 Mini. Unlike R1 or V3, which require multiple GPUs, this one only needs a single ding-ding, making it extremely cost-efficient. This small model supports multimodality, meaning it can recognize images while also functioning as a high-performance hardware. Additionally, it has a vast multilingual dataset, which is why many developers are eager to use Gemma for fine-tuning or leveraging it through APIs to create something impressive within the open ecosystem. If you want to run it locally, search Ollama Gemma Open Model. There are many guides and blogs available. Refer to them to create your own. The third point is this. These are various features introduced under the name 2.0 Flash Thinking Experimental, which provide a much larger context for users to engage with. It now supports a long context window, but more importantly, there's deep research, you know. This deep research can be done by Grok 3 and is also supported by OpenAI. It continuously searches for various information and enhances accuracy with a reasoning model. In our country, we call it an inference model. Using this model means that now it means they've made it accessible for everyone, essentially making it free. Of course, there are limitations, but we should note that companies are making things free due to competition. Do you feel that AI capabilities are becoming similar across companies, including those in China and the US? Sure, there might be something that fits you better, but ultimately, when it comes to delivering AI services, unless there's a major breakthrough in AI model innovation, the companies that already have robust platforms and excel in hardware management are likely to prevail. So, who has the advantage, OpenAI or Google? Honestly, I believe Google has the edge. OpenAI is limited to its own platform. OpenAI, initially, it experienced a decline, but it's currently showing signs of gaining strength. Even though it's said to be built with support from SoftBank and all, we can't ignore the dominance of the existing platforms. Can you imagine living without Google? Not using Google services, not using Gmail, not using YouTube. Everything is so interconnected with Google. While it's not a certainty that Google will dominate, there's a strong possibility it will. As I mentioned before, Google has emphasized personalization, including personal responses. When you access Google My Activity, you can see a record of all your interactions with Google services. This allows Google to remember your actions and anticipate your frequent activities. Therefore, Google is likely to excel in quickly monetizing activities like shopping recommendations. Actually, with these models being released openly, even leading AI companies like OpenAI, as well as new entrants, are starting to feel a sense of urgency. It seems like there are no significant benefits benefits. So using this quickly can actually result in better performance, which means people might use Google Cloud. Of course, while using Google Cloud, they can also use other models. However, since Google holds the initiative, it is likely that they will be able to maintain their dominance on the platform. Google's AI Studio, along with Vertex AI, are cloud-based offerings, with AWS and Azure in fierce competition. Despite AWS and Azure currently leading the market, Google Cloud Platform, GCP, hasn't quite caught up yet. However, if these models become widely adopted, the situation might change. Nevertheless, Google continues to secure data through its search engine. Given Google's continuous accumulation of data, particularly text data, and their recent foray into the robotics sector that I examined last week, it's clear that we can't dismiss the expansion of Google through this central data platform. The most advantageous aspect is that AI services can be swiftly processed for a vast number of users. By examining these aspects closely, we have identified key competitive points in AI. This hoodie from the tech engineering store is perfect for spring. Our beautiful uni is wearing this engineering themed group jacket, and it's very welcome. Be sure to check out Error on Instagram Unreal Tech for the latest updates and quick news. You can also enjoy some fun short videos there. This has been Error.